Hey, Brambro back with some more Grand Tactician Civil War. Our CSA campaign in 1.06, most of which has been beta, which is currently now live. And I think we've come to that time when I can say this is the last episode. And there's a couple of different reasons for that. The first is the whole idea of this campaign was to go through the 1.06 beta, get familiar with it, see how all the various new features worked, and I think we've done that. And now this version has gone live and is the main version of the game. It is no longer a beta. Along the way, throughout the last 48 episodes, there have been a number of updates. We've seen things change within the beta, right? We've seen fort costs go up and down, back up, and then down a little bit. We've seen bug fixes, like on POW camps. We've seen, the overall scale of the economy change. And also, with all those version updates, I think we may have gotten into a situation here where even though, everything kept working, the campaign continued, we saw the changes, there may be things going on with this campaign that just are no longer right. And a big one is this, in finances. And I do not know just how long this has been going on. This may go back to some of the very earliest episodes in this campaign. Let's take a look at finances. And I never noticed this. Economy, wealth, unemployment, national debt, interest rate, credit rating, money. The nation's treasury shows the currently available cash of the nation. If cash runs negative, the treasury will automatically issue debt. If cash runs negative, the armies and fleets cannot be supplied and paid anymore. Morale will drop rapidly. There's supposed to be a number here. And when it goes negative, more debt is issued, and that affects credit rating and interest rate. Well, this isn't zero, this is just blank. There are no numbers in this graph, either for me or for the Union. So it is entirely possible, entirely probable that I've bought a bunch of crap that I should not have been able to buy. Now, I don't know what else to say about that. Yeah. So I think we are done with this campaign, and this is going to be the last episode. And I'm looking forward to starting a new one. I'm looking forward to going into the live version with 1.06 and getting a new campaign going with now all of, even if this money thing weren't the case, I think we're pretty close to time to, okay, they've made their fixes, they've adjusted, we went through so many updates, now let's play from the beginning with the full 1.06. And I'm ready to do that. I bet a lot of viewers are as well. So, as people who have been watching this campaign know, kept it going for quite a while and could have been won quite a while ago. Because, well, partially because maybe I haven't had the money problems that I'm supposed to be having at 1.06. That could very well be a big factor. But there was a decision made quite some time ago that I would not take Washington, D.C. Well, we were getting pretty close to the time where I was going to do that anyway. But we're in 1863 now, and Jefferson Davis, that is to say me, Jeff Davis has made a decision, right? These infernal Yankees, who are former countrymen, and we didn't really want to, you know, hope to be friends again as a separate nation, of course. I sure would love to sell a lot of cotton up north to these textile mills. So we've been trying to persuade them to knock this thing off. We've stymied them in Missouri. We liberated Kentucky, as it should have been. We've established control along the Ohio River. We even kept them out of Western Virginia. But we didn't want to, you know, cross the line and take Washington, D.C. unless we had to. Well, we have to. So, Jeff Davis has ordered Robert E. Lee to cross the Potomac and put this thing to bed. And so, so what's happened here is Department of Pennsylvania is kind of threatening Winchester. We don't like that. I've left the Third Corps over here just to keep Patterson honest. So I have detached Third Corps from the Army of Northern Virginia because I don't want him coming over here to reinforce. Smith's Corps, newly formed down the Petersburg area, brought him up, and Smith's Corps has been added to the Army of Northern Virginia. So Lee has, let's see here, about 70,000 men. And adding up these three armies in the Washington area within reinforcement range is about, 65 or 70,000 men. So, I thought, let's send this campaign off with a bang and have us a big battle here around Washington. So let's do that. Let's get these corps starting to move. Not that way though. I don't want them to blunder into Fort Washington's range and start some kind of siege nonsense. So let's move them up here, all three corps. And let's get Longstreet into offensive mode, because that is what we are doing. Just have them kind of shift up north first, just to make sure we don't blunder into sieging Fort Washington. Probably not, because you know, it's on the other side of a river, and we saw over by Louisville that can block a siege. But just in case, And then I guess we should get Lee himself moving, although he'll be in plenty of range. We saw that the Yankees were moving further west in a couple of different places. There is one army. It looks like this army is just, you know, Scott is just hanging out here at the river. He's not moving. He's in trench mode. But the 36th Army is coming down toward Johnston. And we saw some movement over here. And as I kind of thought would happen, the Federal Army that was in this area did apparently choose to retreat rather than fight over here by Rolla. So Rolla, we have our supply depot back. However, if any other battle occurs further west than the one that we're trying to instigate here, I'm just going to auto-resolve it. See what happens. Okay, marching orders given. Let's advance some time. There was one comment on the last episode. One of our subscribers had said, "Hey, could we do like maybe a Union's doing bounties?" Okay, I think it's going to be a little bit too late, buddy. Coming for you, Lincoln. Asking about, hey, you know, kind of like to see like a German brigade in the army. I don't see any reason not to do that. However, I think maybe that will be in the next campaign. Yeah, it's January. I know we're taking a little bit of attrition here. I think we'll be all right. Before starting this battle, since this is basically the end of the campaign here, I thought it might be cool to look through the officers and see who our leading guy turned out to be. You know, I've got assigned and unassigned, so this should be everybody. Got all the states there. Got all the various branches, and let's sort by, yeah, they're already sorted by leadership. Well, who's our most famous officer? Interestingly, Samuel Cooper is more famous than Robert E. Lee, with 4 stars, Vice 3. Although overall, Lee is obviously the better general between the two, you know, across all the attributes. Hardy and Johnston both top fame. However, Hardy, well, let's see. I guess they're about the same on the other attributes. So essentially a tie between Sidney Johnson and William Hardy for our most famous generals. Well, no, if just for fame, Beauregard's up there too. 5 stars in fame. How about Price? No, Price didn't see that much action in this campaign. How about our major generals? These are our corps commanders. Although I don't really know how Pillow got to be a major general. Oh, he is a division commander. Well, he's not really in the running anyway. And I think, basically, the best officer all around in the Confederate military is Dick Ewell. I don't think anybody else has 21 stars spread among all 5 attributes. Yeah, not Harvey Hill. Not Kirby Smith. Longstreet is real close. He's just edged out a little bit on the fame. This could actually change, right? Longstreet might catch up in this last battle. Ewell's got, what is that? 12 plus... Ewell's got a total of 20 stars. And Longstreet has a total of 17. You got a little bit of work cut out for you to do there, old Peter, in one battle. Conspicuous by his absence, though. And I went through, yeah, I did this off camera first. I went through all the filters and I do not understand why. You know, Tennessee is checked. Volunteer is checked. Assigned and unassigned is checked. For some reason, Nathan Bedford Forrest is not appearing in this major general list, and he is a corps commander. So I don't know why. So let's take a quick look at Forrest just to see maybe if there's a sleeper out there. I mean, he's here. He's a major general. Nope, he's pretty good, but not quite. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 total. Now, I think he was a little bit higher when he was in brigade and then division command on some of these, and he lost a little bit of stats when I bumped him up to major general. And right around the time that Forrest got promoted to corps command is about the time that things started to quiet down a little bit for Beauregard's army. And so I don't think Forrest has actually fought a battle as a corps commander. So maybe that may have something to do with that. Well, that's the breaks. At least you got a higher paycheck there for us. All right, enough of that. Richard Ewell, the toast of the Confederacy, on the eve, almost the literal eve of final independence. Along with Beauregard and Johnston and Hardee, who are actually a little bit more famous. But we're going to let Lee and Longstreet and Jackson deliver the knockout blow here, as it should be. Okay, let's go. Let's lead with just to make things interesting. Oh. At first I thought, policy? What's up with that? I thought that was no, this is the Brits have gone and invented subways in London. Just to make things interesting, let's lead with Edmund Kirby Smith's corps into D.C. Actually, what we'll do is let's just give them all marching orders. Let's turn off all the railroad stuff. We'll just give them all orders and let them race. See who engages first. Come on, Longstreet. Let me. There you go. I'm going to pile 3 corps into Washington and see what the Federals have to say about it. Somebody mentioned it'd be kind of cool if there was an urban map in this game. Yeah, you know, this would be a good place for it. And Lee's plenty close enough to be well. He'll be there at the start of the battle too. Okay, well, we just enacted Industrialization 4. Okay. Okay, well, this is looking fairly even. About the same number of infantry on both sides. We've got a little bit more cav, not much, only like 2 brigades worth more of cav, and it's pretty remarkably even on numbers of guns. And short reinforcement times for us. It looks like we'll see when we get in there. Sometimes there's a change, but it looks like everyone is going to be on the field at the beginning. And it also looks like 2 out of the 3 armies for the Union will be on the field at the beginning, with the 3rd one not all that far away. And that's interesting. Army of the Shenandoah has got 106 guns alone. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pop in and have a look at the map and the objectives and the positions and kind of get, probably do a little bit of deployment. You know, you guys know the drill. You've seen these before. And I will be back for what I think is going to be the Battle of Washington, D.C. Okay, January 13th, and it is the Battle of Washington. And we are here on a Maryland map, and this location would be just to the north of the actual city. This is Rock Creek over here, kind of on the left side of the map. some may be aware that Rock Creek Park is a fairly well-known landmark within the city of Washington. Got the Bladensburg Road over here. This entry point is actually the coming from Washington, D.C. entry point. We are coming from the direction, apparently, of Tenalley Town. I don't know exactly how it's pronounced, to be honest. And this is the 7th Street Turnpike running right up through the middle. Not too far from the... I've had this map before. It's a little funny. You know, the U.S. Military Asylum is here. We may be creating a situation where they're going to have a big influx of inmates pretty soon. So we do have all 3 corps on the field. This is Jackson's Corps up here. And I've got everybody in march order because there's a lot of marching that's going to have to be done, and that will be done off camera. Jackson's Corps is here, and he's going to basically come up this route, this road over here to the Milk House Road, and then cross Rock Creek here by the Hoyle Place, kind of set up in this area. At least that's the initial plan. We'll see what happens when we see the federal position. Longstreet is in the center. He's going to cross Rock Creek right here and move up the, what is this? The Blagdon's Mill Road straight up into the center of the map by Emory Chapel. Kirby Smith's Corps on the right, and they're kind of they're going to cross the creek over here and then also move here, and they're going to take this right flank route kind of over into this area. They'll have to stumble across some fences maybe, or maybe they can just come up. Anyway, Smith's guys are going to make their way over here as best they can to the Rock Creek Church Road and move up here onto our right flank, say about in this area. That's the initial plan. I've got the Cav kind of set up to head out first, and we'll go see where the Federals are, and the plans may change. But regardless, a lot of marching to do before we get into position. At the moment, the game is showing us that the Federals only have 19,000 on the field. That seems a little weird. They should have more than that. Yeah, they've got 3 armies here. And it's not going to tell us. Yeah, it is going to tell us. Okay, so 2 of them have not yet arrived. The army of if I understand this correctly, yeah. So only the army of Washington is actually here, which makes sense. They were in the center of that position. McDowell, this is the biggest corps, shows up in 3 hours, and then the Army of the Shenandoah after that. And they're arriving fairly quickly. I think what I'm going to, with all the marching we have to do, I think they're all going to be there and in place by the time this battle gets going. And so this actually winds up being 4750, about 60,000 men. And this is still an estimate too. Okay, well, I got a bit of marching to do off camera, and I'll be back. I'll put a quick cut in just to see where it looks like the initial Federal position is going to be set up. Okay, a couple of interesting things happening here. Cavalry all fanned out and came, you see them, they're all up in here, caught sight of Federal forces here by the Noble and Bladen place, which is interesting because the objective is over here. And we only vision, pause, there's only vision of a couple of units at the moment. We had about 6 or 7 units, so This is the Army of Washington here. Reynolds is part of the Army of Washington. I didn't have that memorized. I looked in the HQ report. Also, just got the report that McDowell is arriving. And that happened just before I caught sight of these guys. And what's interesting is, they are a little off. The initial core on the field is a little bit offset from the objective, okay. But the other interesting thing is, and I should have thought of this before I sent the cav out, and I didn't, but this is a federal entry point here on the Milk House Road. It is very possible that McDowell's brigades are marching in right here. May not be, but it's possible. And Jackson may be kind of isolated over here and have a pretty, kind of an emerging fight all of a sudden. And while he's marching over this way, like I had planned and described before, but here real soon we're going to see if there's some federal units here. Now McDowell could also be coming here. He could also be coming here, but we've already got vision over here. I think if McDowell was coming in on this route, I think I would have already seen that. I'm going to move Smith, Preston Smith's West Virginia Cavalry in their first combat. Move them up. Well, no, that's the detachment. I'm going to move just far enough to. Actually, what I'm going to do is there is still the Army of Shenandoah to come as well. I'm going to run over here and grab this entry point so that the Army of Shenandoah cannot use this. Then I'm going to double Smith back and take control of this so that the Army of Shenandoah cannot come here either. And that's a good job for Smith because this is West Virginia Cavalry. It's their first combat. And of course we're in Maryland. Well, actually we're in the District of Columbia, which means there's the fighting spirit advantages on their side. Yeah, their morale's a little bit higher. All that combined, Smith's brigade was actually wavering at the start of the battle because of the first combat and the West Virginia and fighting spirit. They've stabilized at, well, stable. So running back down here and grabbing this, that'll be a good job for Smith. Give him a little confidence. Meanwhile, these two brigades, we'll just keep sight on this. I think I'm going to edge Anderson's cav under Rooney Lee. I'm going to kind of move him up to about this area so he can spot federal units moving down the main road here. That ought to be. That's that attachment. I don't want that attachment. There we go. Okay, now what I should have done was I should have had one of these, they started down here, I should have had one of these cav brigades run over real quick and grab this entry point. One of Jackson's guys is going to have to, you know what, I think skirmishers can do that. It'll be fine. That way if there are brigades there, we're not blundering a whole brigade into them. That's okay, yeah. That'll work. And then there's also, well, this is not a federal point, but armies or corps, reinforcements can be scheduled to arrive on the field via uncontrolled entry points. So the Army of the Shenandoah could be scheduled to come here. And we'll just take care of that real quick by doing the same thing. We'll just send a skirm over there. Smith's Corps is a little slow. A, they had a little bit rougher terrain to kind of move through here, and B, it's a much newer corps, so their training is poor, and that makes them a little bit slower and have a little bit more fatigue and stuff. Okay, so that's kind of what's going on, and I'll come back whenever there's more to talk about. Well, that didn't take very long. There was suddenly more to talk about. Right, so this skirmisher started coming up this road toward this entry point, and yep, that's where McDowell's coming in. And so Jackson's Corps is kind of caught in a little bit of a spot here. So here's the plan. Smith and Longstreet, and they've got orders. They keep marching. They're going to come up to their intended positions and deal with the Army of Washington here. Meanwhile, I've got Cav running up here. I've got Cav running over here. And I've got a skirmisher detached from Smith's Corps who's going to run over here and grab these entry points. And hopefully that will create a situation such that the army of the Shenandoah has to come here as well. Won't that make it harder for Jackson? Yes. Immediately, though, what we're going to do here is Sibley, just because he's closest, lucky you, Sibley. I'm going to put him in line, fight a delaying action here, run the artillery, and who is this? Loring's division. Going to run them across the river if I can. Allegheny Johnson's already just crossing the river, Rock Creek. And Jackson's Corps is going to set up here in a defensive position and defend these two crossings. Wade Hampton's cavalry has already got orders to come back and help. So the question is Jackson going to be able to get across the river and set this position up without Sibley getting wrecked as he falls back? That's going to depend a lot on just how fast these federal brigades form up and get moving. We'll see. So let's get time rolling. Okay, Sibley. Form into line. We'll tell the artillery to come over here. And let's get Loring at least moving that way. Come over here. Johnson's under orders to stop, but I don't think he's actually received that order yet. Oh, I don't see an order delay. Stop. That entry point's just about captured. Somewhere in here, they're real hard to see, but I've got, there's the skirms running over to try to get to the Bladensburg entry point. Bait. Pull those guys back. They'll get murdered. I'm going to detach Cabell's battalion. And how about you set up right about here. Bates, stop. Barksdale. I don't know if this is going to be cover over here. I don't think that's considered forest terrain. You know what? I don't want them in forest. I want them to be able to move faster. They're not intended to stand and fight. They're intended to stand and not stand for very long. Move back. Okay, Johnson's guys are stopped now. Yeah. Nope. Cancel that. Wait till they're all in line before telling them to move. Otherwise, they'll get all discombobulated. Hampton and Iverson are in position on this ford. Okay, Bates' skirmishers got back. Barksdale put out skirms. No, I think that was Sibley. I ordered that, which is fine. We'll put the skirmishers out a little bit further for both vision and just to delay the Federals a little bit more. I mean, that's what they're for. But not so far away that when we call them back that, you know, so they don't have too far to run. Let's make sure the brigades themselves are in long range. Johnson's guys aren't really doing anything. I thought I told them to move. No, move into single line. Go. Okay, that first order didn't take. There's Cabell's artillery. I think he's just moving slow because he had another unit moving through him. Slay the skirmishers down. They're there to delay, not really to do much damage. taken this spot over here yet? Yes. This spot, yes. This spot, not yet. The Cav may actually move there faster than the skirms. I'm not sure. I don't really know where the skirms are in there. Oh! These guys are moving. Are they? Well, they're reorienting their defensive posture. Okay, okay. Let's just move the Cav back a little bit. I don't want them engaging. Let's move the actual Cav, not just the detachment. There we go. So this is setting up for Kirby Smith to deliver a flanking attack through here because they're turning to face Longstreet's corps. Interesting. Okay, I'm just gonna limber up Cabell and get him across the river. I don't want him caught. Okay. Allegheny Johnson's finally getting his division put together there. Loring is crossing the creek. Sibley can fall back. Skirmishers are a little bit of cannon fodder there, somewhat. Okay, now that Johnson, okay. That's a good jump. No, not the second brigade, not the second brigade. There we go. Okay, okay. Well, as long as they're putting cav and artillery, not cav, artillery in front. Well, I guess Anderson can just take the objective. It's a few little points there. Just go ahead and have both of these brigades pull their skirms in. Somehow Weisinger's way, way behind his division. I don't know why that's happening. Sturm's going to win the race, I think, for this entry point. Okay. Artillery's across. Now, let's go put them back right on the edge of these woods, about like so. Loring. Let's go ahead and attach your artillery. Okay, perfect. Iverson's Cav is in cover, but they've got range with their Maynards to cover the actual crossing. I think they're going to stay there for quite a while. I'm going to go ahead and dismount them. And they're still waiting for their order to move up. Okay, that's fine. Let's get this Liddell. That's Cabell. Let's bring Cabell over here. I think that's where Sibley's division is going to wind up eventually. And why is he not? Oh, go ahead and limber up. Whatever. Just go there. And then let's get Liddell about in here. No, I want you a little bit further up the slope than that. That's, yeah, that's a good spot. Loring into line. Back Sibley up a little bit more. Hopefully they don't crisscross again. And Jackson can go ahead and come across the creek. Okay. Probably not paying enough attention to what's going on over here. Okay, who's that's Baylor. Baylor, go ahead and pull those skirms back in. And Smith. Let's come bring you back somewhere over here for now. Can go ahead and go into line. You can go double line. Let's get Lee out of Kershaw's way. Just come over here. It's fine. Fitz Lee. Bonham into line. Let's move Chambliss kind of over here on the flank. capturing the point. And yeah, we are now in a situation where when the army of Shenandoah comes, it has to come here. Barksdale, what are you doing? What is he doing? He decided to come all the way up here first before moving back to his position. Well, see how that works out for you, Barksdale. Okay, let's get the Jackson's artillery division unlimbered. I mean, with order delays, if I try to do anything with Barksdale, the orders won't get to him in time. It's better just let him, he's almost there, he'll complete, and then start moving to his position. One hopes. Oh, he's about to get engaged by skirms. Shit. Okay. I need to get Sibley. Back up here. And Barksdale's brigade needs to be screened by some skirmishers. Except it doesn't have any out, apparently. Does he? No. Going to tell him to stop. I hope that that courier gets from Sibley here in time before Barksdale just gets wrecked. I'm afraid he's just going to turn and start marching and expose his flank. It's exactly what he's doing. Double time out of there. Go, Barksdale, go! Okay, Kershaw's kind of, sort of... Well, he needs to go... his brigades went into line because of the proximity... Oh, man, I got Davis freaking routed there. Yeah, and it wasn't because of heavy losses. He just didn't like his situation, I guess. Major and, yeah, demoralized. That's Major's division. Basically, it's talking about Davis's brigade. Heck, he may just go off the field. No, don't go. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Nope. Come back here. That would be better. Okay, let's get McCown's division about like so. Let's get Bonham's division over here. think this artillery probably about in here if I can squeeze them in there. Okay. Okay, let's get Weisinger up here. Little up here. Rains here. And then once they get in these positions, we'll form them into line. Henry's artillery. They need to come over here. And it's going to be a long episode. There's kind of a lot of moving parts going on here. Sort of in combat, sort of not. This isn't exactly routine. Kershaw's division may be getting in some trouble here. Well, at least Davis's brigade is moving to its commander and should maybe kind of get themselves sorted out. Before I do that, I want to detach that artillery and get them back away from the front line. I'm just going to order these brigades independently. I'm going to get them back over here. Some would lumber these Jameses. Okay, what's going on with old Barksdale? He is just sitting there. Let's bring him back to here first. He's taken 400 casualties. And Sibley is not exactly coming up fast to give him orders. Let's go ahead and bring Bates across the creek. There's no reason for him to wait. If I send him up in support, that might be just kind of throwing good money after bad, you know? Okay, there we go. Courier got there. Move. Okay, let's get Loring's division kind of up here. No, that's too far over. I'm going to put them about like this. We don't have any entrenchments here. And that creek is really kind of river terrain. None of Allegheny Johnson's guys have cover there. So I think they're going to have to wind up maybe being relieved in position by Loring's brigades. Oh, well, okay. I didn't realize we were that close to... Well, this ought to let us kind of unscrew things here. All right, so I think I'm going to be doing a lot of moving units around, and by and large, mostly a successful first day, given kind of the wrinkles that got thrown at us. And I will be back for the morning of day 2 of the Battle of Washington. Okay, here we are. It's the morning of January 14th, day 2 of the Battle of Washington. And this happens sometimes where you're in deployment phase and the action is paused, but for some reason the time is running. And so that happened. And so it's actually a little after 10 o'clock in the morning, although nobody was moving, when the battle should have opened at 8 o'clock. And that's just because time is running down here, even though it was in the deployment zone. Okay, well, I think what's happening here is pretty apparent. So I've got Jackson's Corps set up over here defensively right on these 2 fords. There is nowhere else really for... this would be McDowell over here to go. He's going to want to come in here. And the terrain is such that it's awfully hard for Jackson to get flanked. That's why I've got him really concentrated on these fords. Now, if he really wants to, he could march all the way down here and cross Rock Creek, kind of one of these areas. However, I'll be surprised if he does that. And, well, you know what? I'm going to take just one of these skirmishers. This is still within our deployment zone. And let's just put a skirmisher up here, just to watch that road. Should get a little vision from, yeah, just to watch that road. And actually, let's do the same thing we did before. Just put a few of these up here. Now this is kind of a weird terrain. I don't know if I've ever seen this on other maps. You know, this is obviously woods. This is obviously cleared. What exactly is this? What does it do to LOS? It looks just like a rocky field, which I'm guessing means maybe it hinders movement a little bit, but not line of sight. I don't know. This would not have been a bad defensive position up here, too. There's some, you know, it could have parked the artillery up here, entrenchments in front, some forest over here for cover. But I felt it was better to concentrate our defense down here on the fords. Okay, so that's this position. And with the situation that we set up yesterday on the entry points, the Army of the Shenandoah, which I do not have a report has arrived yet. It should have by now, but not seeing it. That army has to come in here right behind McDowell. So Jackson's got a hold over here, and I think this is the best kind of way to do that. And he may take quite a bit of casualties too. However, the other federal corps is in a little bit of a pickle here. He's got Longstreet in front of him. He reoriented his position in order to face Longstreet because those guys are more in vision. And overnight, kind of both Smith and Longstreet were able to kind of get their corps a little bit better organized. So Longstreet in front, and then Smith's going to come in right here behind. If the Federals are still here whenever we press play, they may not be. There is a little hint of breastwork right here. But I think that that may be left over from when the Army of Washington first deployed along a position like this. And even if they do move a little bit, I mean, you see their deployment zone. No matter what happens here, they're in trouble unless they completely redeploy all the way back up in here. I think that's probably unlikely. So, this should be interesting. Let's go ahead and get the day rolling. Nope, there they are, and they stayed. Yeah, they're coming right for the fords. Let's go ahead and move this cab up just a little bit here. Okay, and over here, we're not going to mess around. Let's just move. I'm just going to advance. Well, I was going to advance. Actually, let's wait for Smith to get in position so that the order delays to his right wing aren't too short. Longstreet, though, can advance. Actually, I'm going to wait for Smith to get in position and advance everybody, all three of these divisions at once. And meanwhile, I think Longstreet can just stay here. He's kind of the anvil here. Smith is intended as the hammer. Just let those skirmishers do what they do. Artillery's banging away here. McDowell's coming for the fords. Can move this artillery up. Something like that. Send these skirms up to pepper that arty first. Not advance right into it. Yeah, that battery is already getting kind of hammered. During redeployment, there were some skirmishers kind of over here that were out of position. This guy's trying to get back to his brigade. He's broken. Okay, the skirms are working on that isolated arty. Alright, Smith is close enough. start advancing these divisions through here. Let's move them up to the creek. No, he needs to... I can't give him advance orders unless they're within the Corps Commander's zone of command radius. You can move the units around in the divisions during deployment phase, but not the commander. Smith was way back here. Let's get Lee kind of positioned here to flank if necessary. Let's see how Jackson's doing. Okay, McDowell's just kind of forming up over here. The terrain's weird. I don't know if any of these artillery are actually... They ought to be up here, but A, they're not very long ranged, James rifles, and B, there's all this forest in front of them. So I put them here like a third of the way down the slope. I don't know. I don't know if they can see anything. That artillery may just be terribly positioned. I don't know. Oh, those skirms got driven in. Keep firing, Winder. Okay. Rain's up to here. Little up to here. Meisinger up to here. Artillery's moving up. That's our routed cav, by the way. He recovered just fine from before. Yeah, I think these are old unmanned entrenchments from day one. Actually, I think we better advance Johnson, keep these guys, or not Longstreet, keep everybody before they slip out the bottom of the sack here. Yeah, I probably should have folded a couple divisions down here around the bottom. Let's go ahead and have Fitzlee dismount. complete that maneuver first. Okay, that artillery's done. Good. Rotate position. What's Jackson doing? Where is Jackson? Okay. Dow's taking his time. Skirmisher's watching the road. Let's see where Sherman goes. Sherman's still in brigade command in 1863, apparently, in McDowell's army. I think I'm going to just leave Lee right where he is. Don't want to advance him up into there yet. I don't think that'd be a great idea. Let's pick it. I thought it was Pickett, 10th Regiment of Foot. Maybe Pickett got wounded. Pickett was in command of this subscriber unit, 10th Regiment of Foot. These are our English volunteers that have come across the pond to help out, and Porter Alexander's commanding them now. That's cool. I'm okay with that. Obviously, the skirmishers are superfluous now, as are Maxis. And Gardners. Okay, looks like things are going pretty swimmingly down through there. Fitzlee opening up with his Jocelyn carbines. Looks like second, one of the probably the mini second brigades isn't too big a fan of that. 200 casualties in that infantry brigade, 59 in Fitzlee's brigade, dismounted with carbines. Longstreet's entire infantry line here, two divisions, all engaged. What is this? Tune, pull those skirms in, bro. They've done their job. Okay, now we got Kirby Smith's guys finally arriving in range. Let's get the. I'll say bring these. We got woods here. I don't really see a good place to put this artillery. I'm not going to worry about it for now. Tell you what, here. See if you can fire down through there. And Barton, come on up. Maybe they'll have shots, maybe they won't. We'll see. Okay, let's just get let's get them up here to the edge of the woods so that they can. I don't want them on the creek. No creek. Creeks are bad. Probably terrible positioning on that fence, but that's where Bonham's going to have to go. Looks like Fitzlee threw back that. No, they're wavering. No, they're not wavering. They're just getting out of there. Okay, I'm gonna do it. So Fitzley advance up to about here. All those fences are just going to really mess up calf movement, but I'm going to see if Stewart can get his brigade down here, or get Chambliss's brigade down here in decent order. How's it going for Jackson? Okay, McDowell hasn't really engaged yet. Toon low. I think that was Toon's skirmishers. Apparently the army of Shenandoah still hasn't arrived. Let's take a quick look at that. They were supposed to be here a long time ago. "1 hour," it says. Oh, right. So when you take an entry point and convert it to your ownership, not only does it force the army scheduled to go there to another point, it also delays them. So that's why the army of Shenandoah is just now arriving, because we took, I don't know which one it was, but we took its scheduled point, which means it was probably this one here. And now he had to reroute and has to come in behind McDowell. But that delayed him enough that he didn't arrive overnight. He's going to show up here in about an hour. Okay, well, I think that works for us. Okay, Kirby Smith's guys engaging now. Who is this? Oh, Winder. Winder, bring your skirms up. They did their job earlier. Let's go ahead and move Kirby Smith himself up closer to his division commanders. Okay, this artillery is all firing, so I may as well bring Perrin up here too. Maybe he can see, get some shots. Let's push Fitzlee up here a little bit closer, without actually getting onto the creek and messing up his ability to maneuver. Harry Hayes taking some casualties there. I think everybody along here is probably taking some casualties. Let's get Withers up here. He's just outside engagement range. Let's get him over here where he can, well, nope, don't want to do that. Yeah, Chambliss is really hampered by the fences on either side of him. Weird things happen to Cav fences. Just going to leave him alone. I think Weisser needs to cross the creek. Or at very least, let's get him up about like that. Firing. Idle. He's in medium range. Okay. Idle. Lee up in here doing some work. Uncle would be proud. Okay, Kershaw, push on in there. This is the last battle of the war. This isn't the time to worry about casualties anymore. No, do not do that. They were about to crisscross. See those arrows? They're still firing. They're fine where they are. I think the Army of Washington is being annihilated here. We're real close to a general retreat by the entire federal force. And McDowell hasn't engaged. Matter of fact, they are already starting to pull back. And frankly, a minor victory is fine for our purposes. Yeah, we've taken 5,000 casualties. The enemy's taken 11,000, so just a hair over 2-1. Good old Fitz rotated around again. Enemy is retreating from their capital. Go ahead and push across. Well, I should have made that an advance order. It was a mistake. These guys are kind of crisscrossy, so I'm going to just order them brigade by brigade. And their 10th Regiment of Foot. Scotty's unit. Fitz, get in there with your carbines. I know I'm kind of underutilizing the cav as a whole, but Fitzlee's kind of the only one that was really in position, I guess. Yeah, I didn't really use these guys as like I could have, and Chambliss is stuck in here between two fences. Although now he's got room. He's got room to get up in there now. Come on, Stuart. Did I just click the wrong... That was the wrong unit. Well, that works too. There's Chambliss. And let's bring him about here. Did I not order Lee to advance? Thought I did. Just start charging guys. Turned into a pretty bloody forest there. Union casualties all over the place. These guys are all intact. If we cross, yeah, McDowell can just go. Did there other? Nope. I don't think Army of Shenandoah got in the field before the retreat phase began. Are there any unbroken units in here left? I don't think so. Yeah, the generals are out way ahead of the troops and bugging out. I hear some melee noises somewhere. I don't know exactly where it's happening. Here, Fitz, just mount up. I'm gonna charge these guys here. It is in kind of woodsy terrain, and there's several units in here. I hope I don't get Fitz in trouble. I'll be interested to see in the final report how this Cav brigade made out. Be honest, I don't. Oh, he's got to be in Longstreet's brigade or corps. Where's Chambliss? Chambliss got over here. Chambliss wants to get involved. I don't know if he's going to be able to in the time remaining. You can charge. We can go a little bit faster. Except he's got to go through all those woods. Thousand casualties here, 1,400 casualties here, 700 casualties here. So we've picked up, looks like they went from 11 to 13,000 casualties. I believe that should be about 2,000 POWs who are going to get paroled. Right, you know, because the war is going to end here pretty soon. All right, go do it again. Army of the Shenandoah enters the battle. Does that change anything? I don't think so. It's not even showing their numbers on the field. Because the retreat phase, once that starts, I don't think anything really changes. We are above 5,000 casualties. All right. Let's just fast forward time out of this. There it is. It did want... Well, okay, so we were showing major Confederate victory at the end of the retreat phase. However, it's reverted to a minor, and I think that is because, even though we didn't see it in the tooltip, that's probably counting the Army of the Shenandoah's numbers, which pushed their percentage of casualties back down below the threshold, which I think was 25%. That's fine. They got to retreat anyway. And I am curious to see how we did here. Okay, Longstreet's Corps did almost all the work. Almost all of it. Jackson only 367, and that was just from the initial contact with McDowell over there when he was trying to get across the river. I don't think there was any combat over there in his actual defensive position. And yeah, it would have been nice if Kirby Smith's guys had done a little bit more than that. So Longstreet's the man. And they took 1,600, 2,100, almost 2,200, over 2,200 prisoners, all in Longstreet's Corps. So the question is, how many of those were Fitz Lee's, who was under Wheeler? I think. Yeah. Yeah. 600,000. Yeah. This is all one brigade, so. About 900 casualties inflicted, and then 600, about 1,000 prisoners. 1,900 total. Counts Division, that's 3 brigades. They were in the center, 5,000 casualties. And then Kershaw, they were on the right. Bonham was over on the left, kind of trying to get around the corner, and most of the Federals were moving away from him. He didn't really actually get to shoot that much. Let's see how the 10th Regiment of Foot did. Okay, 1,300, 1,500, 2,200. So here momentarily, as we exit the battle, should be capturing Washington, D.C. It's possible might have gotten a defamation in there. I think one of the Cav brigades, Davis's Cav brigade, did rout, recovered, came back in. Every time I see this load screen picture, that guy right in the middle, for some reason, always reminds me of Jaws from the James Bond movies. You know, Moonraker. I think that was Richard Kiel. It's Jaws with a big ass beard. Hamilton loses face. Okay, I don't think that's our Hamilton. Nobody picked up fame, apparently. We captured 10,000 rifles. And 29 artillery. Oh. So somebody disintegrated in there, which boosted the numbers. 3,000 POWs. No, it's been a long episode, but we're going to keep going here. Well, this is interesting. What is the Department of Pennsylvania doing? Well, it looks like he's doing a rearguard action and isn't trying to engage. He was coming down to help. He was too late, and he's like, "Oh, I'm getting out of here." He burnt down that supply depot over here before he left. Okay, let's actually get over here into the city so we can capture it. So this would be anticlimactic, and I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to auto-resolve this. Was that a completely different battle? Did I just auto-resolve a battle over here in Kentucky? It kind of looks like that. And Samuel Cooper becomes a national hero, picked up some fame. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, Cooper won. Good job, Cooper. No? No. I AR'd the right battle. Somehow that AR'd the other one too. I'm seeing a lot of unit routed messages floating here. This better not slow this down a little bit. Is there an... I've never actually auto-resolved. I'm sure I must have at some point, but it's been so long I can't remember. Is there like a... Yeah. Okay. It's in our favor. Not as much as I would have liked. We had just fought a battle, and our readiness was lower, and we've got units breaking here. It looks like they're all on Kirby. No, there goes Maxie. Huh. Luxury picked up his third perk as a result of that battle. I don't think there's any core level perks that really help in battle. There we go. Picked up another 1,400 rifles. Oh, and here comes the Army of Pencil. Well, they're not going to let this go without a fight, are they? Well, maybe they are. The Army of Pennsylvania changed its mind. Off he goes. Are we capturing this yet? Doesn't look like it. Smith, get out of the boats, man. Here, come over here. Longstreet, get across the river. Oh, he doesn't have the readiness to cross the river. And this is a fresh army. So we clearly have an advantage. A tactical battle would not be terrible. But I'm curious. I want to see... Auto resolve might not work out for us. You know, I'm gonna... Let's move AP Hill over. I mean, the reason for him being there is kind of superfluous now because Department of Pennsylvania came over here. Okay. It's in our favor. Okay, there's another victory. Are they going to keep coming as long as we're capturing? They kind of should. I mean, it's the war is at stake here, but I think we've defeated every Union army in the area. And AP Hill's come up to give us fresh troops in auto-resolve battles. They're running away. I mean, they kind of have to, right? Lost a battle, got to retreat. No fresh armies available. There it is. Washington Falls. And Capital Q. Lincoln is beating feet. Northerners in shock. And the war is over. Union sues for peace. Yeah, that drove them down to 17. I knew they were below. I knew they were at about 40. Okay. Yeah, of course the morale is low. We just beat 3 armies in 3... more than 3. Might have been 5 armies in 3 battles. So wound up a little bit... It did get a little bloody there at the end. For us, more than usual, so it wound up being just about a 3-to-1 casualty ratio throughout the entire war. 200,000 total on both sides. And that is it. Okay, so we just looked at all these numbers. They just show the strategic objectives again. And that obviously is the end of this CSA campaign in the 1.06 mostly beta. Got a really good look at the patch all through its development. And now that it's gone live, another campaign will be coming soon. Which hopefully won't have quite so many ups and downs with the updates and bugs and stuff like that. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this campaign. I certainly enjoyed playing it, and I'm looking forward to the next one, and I hope that you are too. If you like what we're doing with the channel, then leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe. But at any rate, thank you very, very much for watching. Not just this episode, but the entire campaign. I appreciate it.